The Joe Rogan Experience.
The problem is it's so delicious.
Well, that's, you know.
And those keto desserts are mostly bullshit.
Bullshit.
To be honest.
No, I just have to roll my eyes. The paleo treats and the keto desserts and all these things are like trying to come up with a version. It's almost like, Beyond Meat trying to come up with a piece of steak that's made out of vegetables. And then here we are trying to create a sugary dessert that looks like a dessert and tastes like a dessert, but is made with erythritol and allulose and all this other stuff.
I'm glad you brought that up because I think there's real promise in these meats that are made in a laboratory in terms of their cloning meat. They're taking meat and reproducing it. And I've seen some of these really strange looking 3D printed steaks, but it's actual animal tissue. But these meat substitutes that are made with seed oils.
Yeah.
Horrible. Knowing that there was a study, and we've talked about it on the podcast, where they fed rats these things, and they had horrible fucking rats eat each other. They eat everything.
Yeah,
they eat garbage. Yeah. They're fine.
Yeah,
they eat those fake burgers, and they were sick as fuck.
I know.
They started getting liver problems.
Yep. Yeah, I can't explain it.
It's amazing how many people think that those things are good for you.
Beyond amazing. Yeah, it's impossible. Oh wait, no, it's just nuts. It's just nuts that the collective conscience of the country would rally around something so inane, so antithetical to health, and in the name of saving the climate or saving the animals or whatever. There's never going to be any, well, not in our lifetime. Even the cell, the matrix lab-grown meat, the cell-based stuff, still lacks a lot of the nutrients. You have to have the infusion of the capillaries and all of the stuff. You have to have a real animal to get the full impact of all this.
They need to clone headless animals with no souls.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what they need to do.
I mean,
but then they would have to exercise in order to be like really delicious. That's the thing, like the difference between a wild game animal and an animal that's stuck in a pen like veal, which is disgusting. A wild game animal is rich and red and dark, and it's denser, it's more chewy,
right?
Because it's a denser, healthier animal.
And you think you're going to get that from a lab-grown?
No.
So we're back to
you get a headless elk.
Okay,
and you put them on steroids, and you have them running on a treadmill.
Let's patent that, Jamie. Make a note. I think regenerative agriculture is the way we need to go to feed the world, not through ceasing growing animals and trying to do it all in the lab. I think.
Well, Rob Wolf has a new book out, and he was supposed to be on right around April, but a bunch of shit went down, and we're gonna have him on again. But his book is about that.
Yeah.
His book is all about the benefits of regenerative
Sacred
agriculture.
cow.
Yeah, the people that are skeptical, though, don't think that we could do it at a scale that's necessary to provide as many people with meat as eat meat in this country because of fast food production. Fast food production, the way they believe, the way I've heard it argued, and it makes a lot of sense, is that the scale in which we're consuming meat in this country because of fast food requires factory farming to keep up with it.
Well, for now it does, but there's got to be a tipping point. There's got to be a point at which we have to recognize that by concentrating everything in our world, not just food, but all of these different concentrations, that there's a point at which we can't satisfy people's needs, and so I see us sort of going back to the cottage industry farm, the local grown, the local farmers. I mean, I would love to see if there's going to be any subsidies in agriculture, it should be for local small farms that are trying to do regenerative agriculture and reclaim the topsoil and build back instead of continuously depleting it.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think one of the interesting things is that one of the big arguments against everyone eating vegetables is monocrop agriculture, which is essentially what you would need. This is the real problem. It becomes a conundrum because everyone with a heart and a soul agrees that factory farming in terms of animals is disgusting. It's horrible.
Yep.
But I don't think they understand the horrors of monocrop agriculture and how bad it is.
Yeah.
It's so bad for the environment. It's so bad for the soil. It's bad for the animals. It's terrible for all the wildlife that gets moved and displaced because of the fact that you have 4,000 acres of corn or some crazy shit like that. And when they churn that corn up with a combine, a lot of shit dies. There is no way you're going to go out there and hand pick 4,000 acres of corn. You're not going to do it.
Right.
You use machinery, and during that machinery, it's indiscriminate. It chews up everything. Not only that, you have to use some sort of pesticides. You have to use something that discourages predation. You have to use all these different methods to keep animals. Like if you have 4,000 acres of corn, you're going to have a food source where animals are going to swarm in and eat all of your crops. That's what they would do. If that was it was a normal thing that occurred in the wild, if in the wild, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, there was 4,000 acres of naturally growing vegetables, that would be one of the most wildlife-rich areas.
100%.
100%.
Yeah.
So how do they keep that from happening? Well, they do it with poison. They discourage it with pesticides, with all sorts of different methods of eliminating insects. If you care about insects, they destroy insect populations, insects which are also critical to the growth of the soil. It's like there's this natural cycle. So then they have to add a bunch of nitrogen and shit to the soil. And they estimate that we have, like, I think the latest estimation, Jamie looked this up, the United States farmlands have, I believe, 60 more seasons.
I heard 50, but yeah, it's
somewhere,
that number. Yeah, it's a dwindling number. It's a diminishing number until all of the nutrients are depleted.
You and me might be dead, but Jamie's going to ride this out. Jamie's going to be here at the end of crops.
He's going to be in this bunker with his lab-grown meat.
Yeah. I'll be 113, hooked up to an IV NAD machine, and Jamie will be he'll be out there trucking, eating lab-grown carrots. I just don't understand why people don't recognize that both these things are terrible. Factory farming is terrible, and this monocrop agriculture. And this is the argument they always use. We need these monocrop agriculture things to feed animals. Well, no, we don't.
No.
What you need is natural grasslands, which is what these. When the settlers saw millions of bison running across the plains, what were they eating? Were they eating monocrop GMO soy? No, they weren't. They were eating grass. That's what they're supposed to eat. And when they do that, they shit on the ground. That shit fertilizes the grasses and fertilizes all the other plants. And then you have this whole ecosystem of animals that exist within these fields. And it's supposed to be that way. They're supposed to coexist together. And they work together symbiotically to make sure that... And you can do that. At least we've demonstrated on small scale, and this is what Rob's book is about, and a lot of other people have talked about this as well, that when it's done correctly, it actually produces a carbon neutral effect.
Yeah. Nature always has the best answer.
Catch new episodes of the Joe Rogan Experience for free only on Spotify. Watch back catalog JRE videos on Spotify, including clips. Easily, seamlessly switch between video and audio experience. On Spotify, you can listen to the JRE in the background while using other apps and can download episodes to save on data cost, all for free. Spotify is absolutely free. You don't have to have a premium account to watch new JRE episodes. You just need to search for the JRE on your Spotify app. Go to Spotify now to get this full episode of the Joe Rogan Experience.